With all the hype around PvZ replanted, I wanted to go back and have a look at what's going on in PvZ 2 in 2025, because it turns out this game is still getting updates. At this point, PvZ 2 has outlived Garden Warfare 1, Garden Warfare 2, Battle for Neighborville, PvZ 3, PvZ 3, PvZ 3 Welcome to Zomburbia, and soon to be PvZ 3 Evolved, and kind of PvZ Heroes as well, but it is still kind of getting updates. I myself play this game every so often just to see what they've added, and I know other people just stopped playing PvZ 2 completely after they added Arena and all the leveling system. So today I want to take a look at what have they been doing with PvZ 2 for the last like 7 years that they've finished the adventure mode. So let's just get straight into it. After loading up the game I got this screen. As you can see it's I do not understand why they made a completely different design for Scaredy Shroom in this game. It don't even match the design of the other plants from Dark Ages like Puff Shroom and Fume Shroom. It's funny to me because there's people in the community that have already made stuff like Scaredy Shroom, Doom Shroom and Ice Shroom in the PvZ 2 art style while being faithful to the original design. Yet the artists for PvZ 2 just didn't follow the art style of the game whatsoever when making Scaredy Shroom, and this persists onto characters like Doom Shroom and Ice Shroom as well. But let's move on to what this Scaredy Shroom thing actually is, and it seems like Scaredy Shroom this week is the plant of the week, which means you can play levels and unlock seed packets for him which allow you to unlock him. I have no idea what was wrong with this level, but for some reason I just wasn't able to complete it whatsoever. It gives you some pretty mediocre plants. I'm pretty sure I'm meant to use the one that's 200 sun, but to be honest I don't even know what it is. I appreciate the new zombie designs that they've made with all the different new gimmicks. I think that's kind of cool. That's not the only thing going on in PvZ 2 at the minute because there's a Lorna Doom event going on, so I decided to play that and see what that's all about. These dialogue sections really caught me off guard. I don't know why, for some reason Crazy Dave is talking to Zomboss and then Pea-Shooter's talking to Walnut and then Ghost Pepper shows up as well. These are just some pretty generic levels. You fight off different Halloween zombies throughout them, but you need to pay some currency to play, so you have to wait like a few hours before you can play again. I am starting to notice how I'm too over leveled for basically everything in this game though. I think it's becoming quite obvious to me that the game focuses more on the battle arena mode instead of the main like gameplay, because everything just seems way too overpowered for the traditional levels that they give me. Speaking of the battle arena mode, this week it's all based on Scaredy Shroom. I do not understand how Scaredy Shroom has anything that he can do against this Zombot that I'm about to go against. I'm not gonna lie, I do quite enjoy the battles mode. It is fun to play, but I do think it's quite obvious that this is pay to win. Or in my case, it's just grind a bunch for Mega Gatling seed packets and then just steamroll every single level. It's funny though because this game mode is fixed to not be in your favour after you start going on a streak, because all the scores that you go against aren't actually real people playing, it's just a score that they've set. When you lose you go against a low score, and as you keep playing it will put you against high scores to the point where you're against ones that are just completely unrealistic. It's quite obvious that this game mode is the core game mode now for PvZ 2 since it gets the most content and all of the new plants are deliberately designed for this game mode in mind, apart from Scaredy Shroom, who just doesn't do anything in it for some reason. Like, why are you an arena plant? You are not good. But because the plants are balanced around arena now, it means that the main adventure mode just becomes incredibly easy. If you have a plant that's at least level 5, the chances are it's going to completely destroy most basic zombies. Like, having a level 5 cactus here just made it so this boss fight wasn't even a challenge whatsoever. The other game mode that they have in this game now is called Penny's Pursuit, which is essentially the closest thing you can get to an adventure mode level. But the problem is it seems to be heavily built around the whole leveling up system, which means that the zombies are really tanky and the plants don't do much damage unless you level them up. There is a leveling system for the zombies in this too. The higher the difficulty, the higher the level. If you play on the first difficulty, you'll just get basic zombies at level 1. But I can't lie, I found the lower difficulties just boring to play, and the higher difficulties just really felt too difficult to the point where I just couldn't kill a basic imp without having to use instants. A level you have going on at the minute is a last stand level where you get 1000 sun if you play on the second difficulty like I do. I do not see any plants that I could physically use to beat this level because you have to survive for 3 minutes. I understand that's probably something I'm doing wrong here and there's a plant that I should have been using that would have made it a lot easier, but I feel like the plant that I needed is probably one that's locked behind a paywall or behind the little seed packet thing. If you're a newer player to the game, I wouldn't recommend getting into Penny's Pursuit because it really requires you to have higher level plants to be able to even play it. Now, back when I started playing this game, the main way PopCap monetized it was to sell plants, but that has been completely changed since the game came out. Now the main way that they sell you stuff is to sell different seed packets from pinatas that you can buy. So essentially, you gamble to get seed packets. You can obviously earn them in the game by just playing, or you can unlock seed packets through stuff like Pinata Party or the game modes that I mentioned earlier, but this is kind of similar to what Garden Warfare 2 has, where you open a pack and you get some items and you'll always get something, but there's only a chance you'll get what you're after. But unlike Garden Warfare 2, the things that you get in these pinatas just completely ruin the main game for the player. I can't help but feel like PvZ 2 has removed all strategy that it has, instead just opting for allowing you to overlevel your plants and completely steamroll adventure mode. There's some strategy to game modes like Penny's Pursuit and Battle, but it really just feels more like just spam whatever plants you've got that is the highest level and you'll win. Even though I've been quite negative, I do enjoy PvZ 2 and I come back to the game from time to time to play, but I can't help but feel like a lot of the adventure mode is completely ruined for me now because of how easy it is. And stuff like Penny's Pursuit and Battle really just feels less like actual strategy and more like just spam my overpowered plants until I win the match. Speaking of plants, I remember when they added the Shadow Pea shoot to the game, which was the first Seedium plant that they had. Since then, they have added 79 more plants to the game. All apart from Sea Shroom are Seedium plants. The art style of the plants is also incredibly inconsistent compared to the ones that were in the game initially. They've also taken plants that were made for PvZ 3 in 2020 and just put them in PvZ 2. I don't understand why. Aren't these plants meant to be exclusive to your new game? And I think it's quite clear that PvZ 2 is just constantly adding more plants just to keep it afloat long enough for PvZ 3 to finally release. It feels like the developers for PvZ 2 that are working on it now don't really understand exactly what the game's meant to be and just think they can just add more to the game and just make more stuff like Arena and people will enjoy it. Thankfully, we have people in the community making mods and fan games that just stay true to what PvZ should be, and that's a tower defense game and not just some plant spam game with a bunch of loot boxes. But yeah, that's about it for what's going on with PvZ 2 these days, and to be honest, it's not very much that's interesting. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.